$1 trillion. That's the amount of credit card debt U.S. cardholders are collectively on track to be carrying this year. Does this signal a stronger economy with more confident consumers, or should we be a little more worried about paying those bills? Joining us to discuss is WSJ reporter Anna Maria Andriotis. Anna Maria, thanks so much for being with us. Is $1 trillion in credit card debt an all-time high for American consumers?
It's not an all-time high, but it's close to the all-time high, which we hit in July of 2008.
And when we hear that date, that's never a good sign.
No, I mean, it was as the downturn, as the recession was in full steam. We hit just over $1.02 trillion at that point. But it's also worth noting that we were only in $1 trillion territory starting in late 2007 until very early 2009. Clearly a difficult, challenging time period for many consumers. So
what's driving this current boom that we're seeing right now?
Well, in large part, the banks, the lenders have been really back to giving out a lot of credit cards and finding ways to incentivize people to use those cards. They've been boosting rewards programs, but they've also, in several cases, been increasing spending limits on these cards.
And now there's 60 million new general purpose credit cards that have been issued. Is that right?
So that was the 2015 figure. What we've been seeing for the last few years is each year there's more and more new cards that are being given out.
Now, is that partially because banks are finding this one of the few profitable business streams they have right now?
Sure. I mean, they are dealing with issues at the trading desks and other departments within the banks, but credit cards seem to be one of the only spaces where there's a lot of room for profit and a lot of people to give the cards to.
And this is even changing American Express's strategy of only giving cards to consumers who pay off every month, right? They're changing that.
Traditionally, that's what American Express was known for, right? That you pay your balance every month, but that is changing as well.
They want to get in on this action.
Right. So for balances for card issuers are a good thing as long as borrowers eventually pay off those balances. They're a good thing because interest rates on cards remain in double digits.
Right. It's a tricky balance, right? You want them to have a balance, but you want them to be paying it off.
Sure.
So where is this going? I mean, on the one hand, this shows that consumers are confident. They have jobs. They feel that they can take on a little more debt because they feel confident that they can pay it off. But should we be worried that perhaps they may be getting overconfident?
That's a possible concern. When times are good, there's no problem really because people are employed and they're able to pay their bills. But if there's a sudden turn in the unemployment rate, what happens then? And one example of that is when we look at states where there's a lot of jobs in the oil industry. We recently wrote about how credit card delinquencies in those states where there have been more oil workers unemployed have actually been rising.
Right.
So once people are finding themselves out of work, that's when these numbers become a problem. It's sustainable for the time being.
But you also write that credit card issuers are starting to issue cards to subprime lenders a little bit more now, so more aggressively. Should we be worried about that?
Potentially. I mean, again, so I had this conversation with some people in the industry, and what they said was, yes, these borrowers don't have good credit scores, but they have jobs.
Right.
So if they have jobs, they have the income to pay it. But nevertheless, these are risky borrowers.
Let's keep the jobs coming. Anna Maria Andriotis, thank you so much.